Hello everyone, welcome back to another video. We got more purchases and sales to go over here. We're going to start off with the sales. This card right here, I actually just listed within the last hour. This Max Clark, filming this the day after his debut. He went 3 for 4 with a couple doubles. Really good game for him. I don't think that the value, like most prospects when they get called up, is going to be there by the time this will get returned from grading. I was buying some of his stuff, hoping he wasn't going to really get called up until next year, and I was going to be, selling him going into spring training. Got called up earlier than I expected, but still did pretty well on his stuff, as you'll see later. So probably close to a break even on this card. I sold it for 20. I was buying them for around 16 raw, maybe making $1. That wasn't the plan, but I also don't want to hold them, and these drop down under $10. I'm just losing money. So didn't work out how I wanted it to, but just got to adapt. Can't stick to your original plan if things are changing. So just got to be able to adapt. This is a good sale here on the Clutch Gene Tatum Gold. $45. They bought it at the price I was asking for on the PSA 9 numbered to 50. So pretty strong sale there. Not going to complain about getting $45 out of a 9. Maybe I could have listed at 50, but to me 45 was an extremely fair price. I've got a couple of Tatum insert golds that are PSA 10s that I'm holding on to, and that just convinces me that those are going to actually have some pretty strong value when I want to sell them. And then the other one that sold really quick was the Malawak PSA 9 Gold Ray Wave, numbered out of 50. Didn't really have a big year. Maybe a Sun collector or Duke collector wanted to buy him, but sold it at $35. Bought it raw for 15, so really not losing that much. I was really hoping for the 10 on it. Didn't get it, but again, still a good sale. The 9s I am not expecting to break even on. I'm expecting to take losses on 9s. 10s is where I'm trying to make the money on. Like this one, this Tarek Skubal, probably bought it for a couple bucks, got it graded for 25, so I was in it for 27. When I was grading them, these cards were up near like $80 raw. This one sold for 55 raw, so doubling my money. Nothing too crazy. I do have a PSA order that is coming back right now that has the largest or most expensive card I've ever graded coming back based off the grade. So I'm really excited about that, to share that. But nice to make some money there on just a base Skubal. I've got a couple other ones that I am waiting to put up for sale, assuming they trade him. If not, I don't mind holding him. He's a top 5 pitcher in baseball right now. If he didn't get injured this year, he'd still be in conversation for AL Cy Young, in my opinion. And then 2 really good sales. So I know I'd been talking about, the past month and a half with PSA going down, that I was going to be buying some SGC 10s of, low pop cards that I thought were underpriced at auction when I bought them that I could flip. But you also have to buy the right card and right player. So I did that with Max Clark. Obviously baseball prospects, right when they get called up, that's when their cards get the hottest. Well, I already had, didn't damage it. I already had these listed on eBay, so when he got called up, it was just my time to move them. The yellow refractor, I accepted an offer at 160. I had it listed at 190, but took an offer at 160. I had bought this for like 115, I think, so or 115 or 120. So after fees, I'm making about $20 on it, which isn't crazy. But then, I had an offer at like 120, I think, on this yellow Lunar, and I countered at 125, just being kind of stingy because, I figured that 125 was fair. I'd bought this at around 85, and then, I checked my phone, so I got, purchased and paid for, but someone else had ended up buying it at 170 just then. So sold this one for more than the true yellow, the Lunar Crater, sold for 170. So, after fees on eBay, you're probably looking at close to that 145 range or so. Making really good profit on this card, about $60 profit there. So again, you have to be buying the right stuff in SGC 10s if you want to flip them. Otherwise, I see some people saying, well, you're setting a new comp. Well, if the card's rare enough and people want it enough, that's not going to matter. If I bought this Skubal in an SGC 10 for $20, maybe I could sell it for 25, but I'm not going to make any money. So you have to buy the right card. Let's go over our purchases. Let's start off with a 3-card order from DC Sports. Nothing too crazy here. Steph Curry, red, white, blue. I think that's an amazing, color parallel American flag for 2025 Topps Chrome. Peyton Stearns going to be adding this to the PC. I'd like to work on building out a mini rainbow. Like, I don't think I could get a red or the super or anything, but a mini rainbow would be nice. So that's a good one there. And then a Bearman, going to be looking at this one for grading. Who knows if he's going to be at in Haas next year. I've seen, I don't know. I've seen projections of him moving like to Audi or something like that. Who knows? It's too early to tell. He's going to be someone that he doesn't move first, like Verstappen or Russell or Piastri, or one of those guys is going to move first, and it's just going to domino effect into him. So we'll see. But a few, lower end pickups from DC, but still nice ones to have. They all have a reason, whether it's for collection, grading, or think that it's a good hold long term for the player. Nice purchase here, relatively cheap on the, it's a little white, but the Walmart blue border, Manny Machado rookie. Future Hall of Famer. I think his card prices are, extremely underpriced when you compare it to some other people. Yes, he doesn't have the fan base like Jose Ramirez, because Jose Ramirez has been in Cleveland his whole career, but Manny's, better fielder over his career. And I wouldn't say he's been quite as good of a hitter, but has still been a very solid hitter for most of his career as well. He's going to end up with a lot of hits, a lot of home runs. He could get to 3,000 hits. He's got the length of contract. He just needs to stay healthy and, stay above the Mendoza line, for goodness sakes. So, yeah, that's what I think on Manny Machado. If he gets to 3,000 hits, which is a big if, I do think that the market will then shift a lot more favorably in his prices. George Russell helmet collection, 2024. These are hard ones to find in good condition. The gem rate's about 50%, but we're going to see what we can do on this one. I'd love to be able to grade a few of the 2024 helmet collections. This is a nice looking Giannis here, the gold sapphire, number to 50 from Bowman Chrome. I've got, just showed in my most recent video, but I've got the Jokic out of 50 from Bowman Sapphire. Topps Chrome Sapphire is a little different, a little more expensive to buy that, so I'm not going to quite be able to get there. Although I need to do a price comparison. I want to say that true golds out of Topps Chrome are selling for more than the golds out of Sapphire, which would make sense just because that true gold is so desirable, but I'll be curious. Maybe the Sapphires are a little underpriced. So yeah, I like that purchase there. Don't know why I'm setting all these off to the side. I'll set the purchases up there. This is a very interesting one. You can let me know down below if you think this is a horrible purchase. I think I bought this for like $15, maybe $20 after shipping. So this is weird. So it's an aftermarket sticker auto, which has been authenticated by Beckett. But, this is just the regular, you take a regular base 2022 Topps Update card, and I wish I had. I'm sure I've got one laying around because I've got a bunch of Bobby Witt stuff. Oops, bumped the camera a little. Let me see if I've got one just that happens to be laying by my side. I don't. It's a little bit surprising, but let's just say that it was this card, right? So it's just this, and then I don't know how they got the sticker auto, but they somehow got a sticker auto and just slapped it on there, got it authenticated. So we'll see. Rookie auto, maybe. I don't know. $15-20 seemed like I was okay with spending that. Giannis, this is weird. So this is a gold out of finest, but it's a rare gold, which makes it numbered out of 20. I wish all the golds were just out of 50. I don't care, if you want to do this like selected and have your levels, you've got, common, uncommon, rare, stuff like that, just like how they had the field level, club level, suite level, all that stuff, then do that. But I don't know why we're making golds numbered out of 20. Just make them out of 50. We don't need a fake scarcity. Like, everyone knows that parallels and refractors are printed to the moon. So just make it make sense. A gold out of 20 seems stupid. Any card numbered out of 20 seems stupid. More or less a gold, which with Topps is synonymous for numbered out of 50. Kimi Antonelli, helmet collection. Got two of these. Probably was into these for about $115 each. Paying up a little bit more, but sometimes you have to do that when his market shifts. I know some of these cards spiked up to like $150 after he won in Spa. And then, come down to about $120. Still finished on the podium in Hungary. So, these are very good profit margins for grading. So we're going to take a look at those for grading and, hopefully get them out. And I'd hope that they come back before the season ends in December. You know, with it being August right now, it's like about 4-month turnaround time is what we would need. That's a little bit cutting it close, but they say a 50-day regular service level turnaround time. Potential PC card or flip. You know, I've got a good amount of Bobby Witt Jr. gold stuff now. I like to collect his golds and his blues are the two different colors I like to collect of his. Obviously, I pulled that out of Topps now. I just, you know, I got it numbered to 5, so I'm going to keep that. But I don't need every single gold Bobby Witt Jr. And then obviously, you know, if it is clean enough to grade, this is one that if it grades a 10, you can sell well. So might be PC, might be one I sell for profit. It all just depends. And then finally got my first Wemby for a reasonable price from 2025 Topps gold border, you know, trying to just collect a bunch of these future Hall of Famers or current stars, because if Wemby got injured tomorrow and, you know, could never play similar to how he's playing right now, he's not going to make the Hall of Fame. Someone like LeBron or Steph would. So just kind of trying to collect some young guys, some older guys, but all guys that are big names in the league. I think that those cards are going to do really well long term, with it being the first year Topps has gotten the license back. LeBron stuff's going to do extremely well. It's the only time you're going to be able to get licensed playing your LeBron cards in a Lakers uniform. So obviously that market, I think, will inflate over time as well. And then last up, we've got a Topps Now purchase. This is Salvador Perez. So I bought this one. You know, I could have waited for the one where he tied George Brett's Royals all-time home run record. He has it now, and I didn't see him release a Topps Now card for it, so that was a bit unfortunate. I would have bought it. But, yeah, I bought this one instead, so I didn't feel the need to buy the one with George Brett, because I don't need two different Topps Now about Salvador Perez home runs. And honestly, I kind of like this one more because to me, it feels more like a game moment when you make a dual card with someone who hasn't played in, you know, years. It just feels more fabricated. So I actually really like this card. We got a bunch of base, and then I'm supposed to have 2 hits. Looks like one of them is an orange. And usually when I open Topps Now, if there are multiple hits, they put the lowered number ones towards the back. So if the front one is orange, which is numbered to 25, that means the one behind it is either black, red, or the superfractor. So let's confirm the first one is orange to 25. All right, so that would make me believe I've got an out of 10, an out of 5, or the superfractor, or potentially another orange. Oh, the gold's behind it. Okay, so I got it wrong. Personally, I'd rather keep the gold than the orange, even though the orange is lower numbered. I think that gold is cooler to have in my collection for a couple of reasons. I don't know if I showed these other ones in another video. I'm hoping I did. But gold just looks really good, you know, with any sports card. So we've got the Salvi Perez gold. I definitely showed these because, yeah, like the Cags, the Weatherholts, and then the 250 I showed in my most recent video. But I also got the Caglianone gold as well. So getting some nice Topps Now cards. Got a Perez gold, Cags gold, Bobby Witt red to 5, some pretty sweet Royals cards. So very happy with that. And then, you know, this card right here is one you could probably throw on eBay for like 30, 40 bucks and it would sell, I would think. And, you know, I bought 20 cards for $100, so that makes a good chunk of your money back. And then you can sell some raw, get some graded stuff like that. So Topps Now, for the most part, I find to be a pretty good deal. The only time that you can run into issues is for when cards are heavily purchased and it's a really high print run. You are very unlikely to get parallels, and oftentimes your dollar per card is like $7 a card or so, and you can only resell the base for $5, so you're just pretty much guaranteeing to lose yourself money. But yeah, for PC cards like this, I think it's sweet. I think it's nice to take a shot on sometimes, but that's why I'm not buying every single Topps Now card. So a little bit of a longer video, went on a few smaller rants about some stuff that I just want to talk about, but hopefully it was enjoyable and you guys liked it. If you did, like and subscribe. Let me know what you think down below about the cards that I purchased, as well as the few that I sold here as well. Did well on the Max Clarks. My eBay store is linked down below in the description if you want to buy anything I have for sale. And as always, thank you guys for watching 2K for Life. Peace.